Silver is currently sitting at $43.09. Folks, the days of 30-something dollar silver are long gone. If we do touch 30s, it's going to be 38, 39, and I don't even know if that's going to happen. I'm going to explain in a second. This means two things. It's easier for silver to go higher and harder for it to go lower. Whereas before we broke past those critical psychological resistance levels where we used to bang our heads against, which is like 30s, now the sky is the limit. There's no barrier. There's no resistance anymore. That's why it's called as a resistance level. But we broke past the resistance level, so now it has more leeway. And that also means it's harder for it to go lower. Because prices have stabilized higher, we're not going to see it drop back down to 20-something. Whereas before we hit 30 and it goes back down. A lot easier for it to go lower. Now it's a lot harder for it to go lower. That is massive, folks, especially since we are approaching $50, which are all-time highs, sitting with gold already setting records and everything else happening in the economy, geopolitically, economically, fundamentally. This is big news, folks. But first, welcome to your daily silver news. My name is Silver Slayer. If you want the latest information of what's happening in the world of precious metals wrapped up in a shiny YouTube video, you don't have to do the hours of research per day. I'll do it for you. Then click subscribe. We're going to be covering this article, though. This is what we need to talk about. America's silver lifeline is at risk. A $5 billion federal rescue follows Mexican shutdown, exposing U.S. vulnerability to resource nationalism. Say that 5 times fast. What does this mean, though? Let's find out. Mexico's Los Filos mine collapse and rampant resource nationalism force U.S. officials to admit strategic dependence. Federal bailout marks urgent shift to secure silver supply. Mexico is the #1 producer of silver. Mexico and Peru, those two countries alone, produce like nearly half of the global annual supply. Mexico is nationalizing silver, meaning instead of Mexico, the biggest producer, shipping out their silver to the rest of the world, they're like, why don't we keep it to ourselves? But that is extremely dangerous for everyone else that is reliant on Mexico to get their silver from. And the United States is finally realizing this. Like, oh, shoot. I'm surprised Mexico didn't do this earlier. But their new president actually, a couple of years ago, started pushing this idea. U.S. in talks to set up a $5 billion fund for critical minerals deal. And this also means something else, which is they are finally realizing that silver is a critical mineral and that if we don't have enough silver, we cannot go green. We cannot build more EVs. We cannot build more solar panels. We cannot go digital. The numbers are finally starting to add up. Silver's true value is starting to come to light. Price is the greatest tool of misdirection, so don't be misdirected. Ray Dalio and Ross Beatty's recent commentary on global silver supply, jurisdictional risk, and resource nationalism echo the views long held by the Silver Academy and notably align with the growing involvement of the U.S. Department of the Interior. In light of last week's stunning announcement, a $5 billion federal investment in mining following silver's designation as a critical mineral, it's evident that federal officials now tacitly admit the U.S. is dangerously reliant on Mexico, vulnerable to foreign political and social faultiness, and must intervene to secure domestic supply chains and strategic reserves. It's too late. It's way too late. If they would have been watching channels like mine or listening to channels like mine that have been screaming this since 2019, that we are in a silver shortage, and to look past the brain-dead idiots that say, there's no silver shortage, I can still go on Amex and buy silver. That's not what I meant. What I meant is this. What I meant is that we are headed in a digital era where if production doesn't ramp up, which we don't know how to, there's only so much silver in the Earth's crust, ore grades are lowering, most silver's thrown away, it's a byproduct, very few silver mines. There's not much silver, but demand is booming. especially with all of these new inventions like Samsung's new silver ion battery or whatever, and all these, UK mandating solar roofs and all of this stuff with EVs. It wasn't realistic. When that happens, when people realize that's not realistic, then silver's true value will shine. And it's looking like the government's finally starting to realize this, which is why I always said silver will skyrocket in the year 2025 or 2026. And once again, I'm spot on. I said by now we'll be deep enough into the green era where you cannot deny silver's critical role it plays. You can't sweep it under the rug anymore. And what do you know? Dead on. 2025, 2026. We're at the end of 2025. I was spot on. Federal intervention, belated but necessary. The U.S. government's $5 billion investment, triggered by new federal policy in the critical mineral designation, underscores how precious metals like silver are no longer mere commodities. They are linchpins for clean energy, advanced electronics, and national economic security. For years, Silver Academy's analysis warned about looming shortages, geopolitical risks if Washington failed to act, citing Mexico's overwhelming dominance in global silver mining and the intensifying climate of resource nationalism under the Morena Party. Morena being the president that pushes for silver nationalism. So, a few things. Which direction do I want to take this? So one, there's no way to just find more silver. $5 billion isn't just going. I mean, what can they do? Mining innovation. There's only so much silver. What else? Recycling. I did actually make a video the other day that scientists found a way to possibly recycle silver with like what was it? Aluminum or something crazy. But that's not even going to put a dent in the amount of silver we need. We're talking about like a $1 billion deficit in the last 7 years. So mining innovation, recycling, taking it from us. You heard me correctly. That's another place where silver is. Or space mining, the final frontier, mining comets and meteors. But that's not realistic anytime soon. But there is an asteroid called 16 Psyche, or Psyche 16, that's headed towards Earth around the year 2026. NASA sent out a rover in like 2022. I so vividly remember making that video when they announced this in 2022. I remember mentioning, how cool that was, but obviously that's not going to be realistic. It's just the thought of that NASA actually did send out a rover. This asteroid has supposedly like $500 quintillion worth of precious metals on it. So they're, they're starting to get the ball rolling with space mining, but still, that's not realistic. So those are the 4 options. Those options aren't sufficient. We don't have enough silver. So articles published since 2023 detail how Mexico's president halted new mining concessions and pushed for nationalization of lithium and beyond precedent silver. After lithium's full nationalization in 2022, the pattern of state control over energy metals grew clearer. The U.S. government's reversal, shifting from passive reliance to proactive investment, amounts to an admission by proxy. Left to market forces and foreign goodwill, U.S. industry and defense could be profoundly exposed to external shocks. Mexico's resource nationalism, case studies and supply chain fragility. 3 trends driving silver much higher. Supply chain disruption, labor disputes, jurisdiction risk. So now it shows this timeline. 2020, Los Filos, 3-month shutdown after fierce community blockades. 2020, Pensacola, COVID-driven suspension followed by crippling labor strikes. 2021 to 23, unrelenting union strikes and protesting communities grind the world's top copper mine to a halt, which Silver's a byproduct. They're looking for zinc, lead, and copper, so that also affects silver. That's why they mentioned it's a copper mine, but they're still talking about silver. There's very few silver mines. Pensacola in 2023, exposing the rising force of organized labor and local resistance. 2024, Vulcan Quarry, police expropriation post-seizure highlights state intervention risks. 2025, Los Filos faces indefinite closure, unresolved land disputes, and anti-mining sentiment bringing production to a standstill. 2025, Panuco Silver Gold Project temporarily shut down as local security issues escalate. I mean, that's bad. That is bad. So now we have the critical minerals, from abstract risk to strategic priority. The designation of silver as a critical mineral signals a paradigm shift. This is not just a bureaucratic label. It unlocks funding, regulatory clearance, and research into the domestic mining and refining capacity. The U.S. now joins a global scramble to secure technology metals for its economy and defense, directly responding to the cracks in international supply highlighted by Silver Academy, Ray Dalio, and Beatty. By the way, Ray Dalio is another billionaire that's been buying silver, along with like David Bateman that bought $1 billion worth of silver on the COMEX and 1,000-ounce COMEX bars and turned them all into physical delivery and stored it in a warehouse and took a picture of it actually on Twitter. Warren Buffett, Jim Rogers, you name it. If it's a successful billionaire, they probably own silver specifically as well. And the central banks, all the world's banks, and the biggest countries. So in the short, the events of September 25 do not represent isolated disruptions, but confirmation of a far-reaching thesis. Without robust federal action, the U.S. would remain vulnerable, exposed by policy shifts, social unrest, and the tightening grip of resource nationalism in Mexico. As policymakers scramble to build resilience, the intersection of expert analysis, activist journalism, and hard-won industry experience provides a path forward, one where silver, at long last, receives the strategic attention it demands. And that strategic attention it demands would also qualify silver's true value finally getting seen. Right? People equate silver's value to gold's value right now in a micro perspective. People think silver's only going to do what gold does because of, inflation and things like that, of that nature. They don't realize silver's true value is articles like this because of silver's industrial role it plays, where gold has no place and no part in. Most people don't know that. Right? Most people just think, oh, if you're trying to hedge against inflation, you buy gold and silver, like because it's, it's a safe haven asset. They have no idea that there's a massive silver shortage and that silver's scarce and silver's needed for all this stuff. That's really why my name is Silver Slayer, not Gold Guy, right? So anyways, thought this was interesting. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Also, my friend Shelby is doing her giveaway from Chill Seeker. The entry video is live, so go enter. Don't miss out. The prize is so cool. Also, if you want to purchase some of this stuff, hit us up. info@milesfranklin.com. Let them know Slayer sent you. We have weekly specials, great prices. Andy Scheckman's the CEO, so you know we're legit. Been in business for like 35 plus years. A+ on the Better Business Bureau. Help us out. Don't buy from these big corporations. Support people like Andy Scheckman and myself that sit here day after day trying to get back to the silver community and spread the word. Don't just buy from these big corporations. Our prices are just as good, if not better, and our inventory is a lot bigger. I can promise you that. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace. From now on, every single month on the 31st, you have a chance to win silver, a continuous silver giveaway. Well, if you become a member of the Secret Silver Society on my Patreon, you have that opportunity. So every single month, you have something exciting to look forward to, which would be winning silver. On top of that, you'll have access to a live chat room with other silver stackers where you can post pictures and chat, just hang out with everyone, and have early access to my videos along with supporting me. If this is something you'd like to do, then come join my Patreon. It's patreon.com/silverslayer. Upon joining, you'll be given a monthly raffle ticket and instant access to that chat room. Go introduce yourself. Everyone is super nice, and it's more personal and intimate than a YouTube comment section. Folks, I'm so excited to announce that I've partnered with American medical experts whose purpose is helping veterans get the medical benefits that they truly deserve. Over 17 million veterans aren't receiving their full benefits, and if this is you or someone you know, then act now. American medical experts are offering free consultations through our med team to see how we can help. The med team offers board-certified doctors who have experience working with the VA, comprehensive medical evidence for services like mental health as well. Some of these include your Nexus letter, your DBQs, your TDIUs, your AAs, and more. I want to personally thank American Medical Experts for helping veterans, but also giving me an opportunity to help veterans as well. Click the link in the description or the pinned comment to get a free consultation through our med team. Thank you so much for listening, and God bless.